Hello and welcome to Keep Right On, a Birmingham City podcast brought to you from us here at Birmingham Live. I'm Brian Dick and I'm joined today not by my regular co-host Alex Dickin, but by a far more recognisable face of ex-Blues striker and captain Troy Deeney. Known to everyone as a Blues fan, Troy fulfilled maybe not his dream, but the dream of most other Blues fans when he joined his boyhood club after leaving Watford in 2021. He stayed for a couple of seasons until 2023 before leaving after 11 goals and 56 appearances. He will, of course, I would imagine, Troy, be best remembered for his long and loyal service to the Hornets, for whom he scored 140 times in more than 400 games. Today, you can hear him on the radio, see him on the TV, and it's surely only a matter of time before he ticks off the Strictly I'm a Celebrity and Traitors trilogy.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Troy, how are you? Thanks for joining us here today.
I'm brilliant, mate. Thank you for having me. It's been a while. We've been speaking about doing it for a little while, haven't we? But I'm glad we got there in the end.
Yeah, we've finally nailed it down. Thanks very much. Now you are a more celebrity than a footballer, Troy. I'm going to describe you as that. Make me sick and tell me what's in your diary for the next couple of weeks.
I'm in the States at the moment. I just come out here. I am obviously international break, so I've got some stuff going to be announced in the next week or so, which you'll hear about, which can't talk about yet. But all in all, mate, I'm definitely not a celebrity.
So showbiz.
Some Chelmsy that's done all right for himself.
That is such a showbiz. That is such a showbiz response, Troy. I can't tell you about just yet. Listen, most of our
under embargo, mate. You know how this works.
I do, yeah. Most of our listeners and watchers and viewers will be in here to hear about Birmingham City, and I just want to take you back to your couple of years at the club.
Yeah.
How do you look back on it now, Troy? You probably know my thoughts. I'm with most people. It seemed like a marriage made in heaven, and then they were from the outside looking in 2 fairly difficult years. How do you look back upon it and tell me I'm totally wrong?
No, it was a dream, mate. Obviously, again, I'm from Chelmsy Wood. Do you know what I mean? I got to play for Birmingham City, which I used to pay to go to, and I'm not giving the whole cliche stuff here, but I ended up captaining my boyhood dream. Like it was amazing. So for that regard, it was great in terms of like you tick the box of what you wanted to do as a 11, 12-year-old kid playing Wembley or up the garages. But in where I was at and what I wanted to achieve and where the club was at, it was probably, night and day. We had some, off the record chats, as like I was frustrated, not only with, the lack of investment is obvious for everyone to see now when you see the investment that's gone in and how the club's run, but just more the lethargic nature of it and just how everyone had become so like okay with just surviving that it really infuriated me. But no, it was great. And also on the flip side to that, like they were really testing times. Like there was not a platform for anybody to I don't want to say it, for anyone to showcase themselves with the best footing. Daily there was something going wrong. Daily there was issues to deal with, and those guys like Juki and the people like that who stayed around for, what did Juki end up doing? Was it a decade?
Yeah,
he deserves a stadium named after him.
9 years, I think it was. Yeah, but
9 years. He like honestly, mate. Like for again, to most people, they're not going to understand this, and they're going to think it's. But like when I'm buying towels because there's not enough towels, personally sending my missus to John Lewis to buy towels, that sums up just in a nutshell, like just how bad the place was. From like internally, and people were just trying to make do with what they had, but the expectation was that you go out and you perform.
Yeah,
it was difficult. It was difficult for people.
You were buying ice for the ice baths, weren't you? Is that right? And I don't know whether you'll thank me for putting this on the record, but was there a limit about the number of scans players could have, or number of players that could have scans, or something like that?
Yeah, you're in the right ballpark of where things were at. And like, I think you know me well enough now. I'm not somebody that sits around and waits for somebody else to take care of something. It's like, okay, how do we get it? How do we make it happen? There was like, and by the way, it wasn't all doom and gloom. There were some brilliant, brilliant people that worked there. Really good people that worked there. And as you know better than me, that work in the back, that were basically doing it with one arm chopped off, never mind behind their back, one arm chopped off and still pulling out results. But you have to let your listeners understand, I came from the Premier League. I came from Watford, that we were trying to stay in the Premier League. We were trying to keep ourselves. If we dropped to the Championship, the expectation was we get promoted the next year, and not get promoted in the playoffs, like one or two. You're going in those top spaces. So when I left Watford and we just got promoted and we'd just been in the Premier League, and then, I'm not going into an environment where people are able to even understand what a level of professionalism I'm used to. It was so like the first 3 months I was just sitting back looking and hardly talking. Go, what is this? Like what? This can't be normal. And obviously they were riding high. If you remember when I first started, with the great run under Lee Boyd had started well. So I thought, Joe, this just must be the way that people do things differently. Maybe I'm the problem. And then, I do believe that, you talk about processes, the level that I believe in, and it's interesting, I'm not putting any of us on the same category, but when I've watched the Amazon documentary, you hear what Tom Brady's talking about, which is processes, day-to-day work, the things you do every single day end up in the results. That to me was wild when I walked into Birmingham. I was like, why is everyone going home so early? Why is everyone getting in late? Why is it so limited? And the problem is because over time, when people try to implement stuff, it'd been shot down with a lack of finance and obviously turnover. There's a lot of players turnover, a lot of manager turnover. So it was difficult for people. But as soon as they made me captain, I think Harley Dean left in Jan, I believe. As soon as they made me captain that day, me and George Friend, got to work. Like, it's fine now because it's so far away, but like there was razors left on the floor from where people had haircuts, and there's razors left on the floor. Like, your footballers, if we stood on that and cut ourselves, my God, we were liable. There were things being stolen daily. Yeah, it was. I could do a whole new book just on my 2 years at Blues. It was difficult. It was a difficult time, but with all that, I had fun. We had fun.
Yeah. It felt like it started to go right when John Eustace arrived. Do you agree with that? On the pitch, maybe not off the pitch.
I would agree. Yeah, I would agree with that. But it was simplistic beauty in the sense that you turn up on time. You had a manager that was very clear in what he wanted to do, a staff that are very clear and deliberate in what they wanted to do. Everyone was held accountable. There was definitely no favourites. You can read in between the lines with that. There was no people going upstairs and having one-on-one meetings with a manager before training and then coming down and telling everybody what was going on. So that was always good. But the biggest part of it, we had a pre-season where everyone had to knuckle down, mate, and you had to work. And for me, it was great. Obviously, I knew Eustace. Eustace used to be my captain at Watford. So, he was, if anything, harsher on me than everybody else because he wanted to let everybody know, yes, me and Troy are friends, but there's a level of that I demand, and this is what what I'm going to expect you lot to do. So, when you look for the year before, for example, it was shambolic. I don't want to go into calling people names and saying the stuff, but it was shambolic the year before what was going on.
Against the backdrop of this, your
guys can read between the lines, though, right?
Yeah,
you understand.
They can. Yeah.
Okay.
And
cool. That's right.
Against the backdrop of this, you are, forgive me, an aging striker, and people are looking at this big personality, Troy Deeney, and counting the number of goals you're trying to get in, and you're picking up injuries, aren't you? It must have been just managing that side of it must have been pretty tough, right?
Yeah, it's frustrating, mate. It was more than frustrating because when you're getting older, you should be doing less, not more. And that's just a life thing, right? As we
Mm,
get older now, we do things less than we do that. At that time, yeah, I was doing a lot. I was playing as a striker with Scotty Hogan. I was being asked to drop in the 10 and help out defensively. There's quite a few things that I was obviously helping the young boys, JJ, Job, George Hall, having a lot of impact with them guys, changing the standards that was around there because John Eustace had given me the power really to go and get things where it was done, like making a fines list that was actually adhered to,
mm,
making standards be set that, you know, again, everything that should be basic and will be basic where the club is at now, we was doing. And but at what was I, 33, 34 at the time,
yeah.
shouldn't be me doing that. It should be me coming in to complement that at that time. Um, and also, probably like in hindsight, I should probably have took more days off in the week because, again, I think that I train every day. And I train
Mm.
hard every day, and I push not only me but everyone to want to win every day. I probably should have managed my body a little bit better at that point, but you know, I just wanted it to work. So sometimes you do too much, don't you? Unfortunately,
Yeah. Did you know your last game was at Huddersfield? And you was it your calf or your hamstring you did when you missed a
tore my
chance?
hamstring. Yeah,
Your hamstring. Did you know then
tore
that
my
that was
hamstring. Yeah,
that was it at Blues?
no. Give you a bit of exclusive here. I was I was in talks to go back to Watford anyway. Houston wanted to keep me, but obviously there was the takeover and things
Yeah.
of that nature happening. And we kind of let it get done. It was funny because that Huddersfield game, we played all right actually.
Mm.
And as I went to shoot, the pop that I heard, and it kind of like shot me up. That's why like if you remember, like I left foot, right foot kick it, it goes off. But
Yeah.
like it's my left hamstring that popped and it just shot me in the air. And I was like, that's not good. Like I've pulled my hamstring once before that. I'm not the quickest of people, so pulling your hamstring's not really for me. But
Yeah.
I pulled it once before that. And as soon as I did this, I was like, oh, that's not good. But also in the same game, we had Christian Bielik go down, didn't we? If you remember, in that same game.
Mm.
So I remember talking to Eustace on the mend and on the rebuild, and he was like, "Look, I want to give you another year." We'd agreed that I would like half my wages, um, and just not essentially a pay as you play, but more or less that route. Like it was going to be like a massive drop in wages, and obviously as long as I proved it and was fit and available, I could earn more money essentially. So
Yeah.
that was all agreed. But I was also being in talks with Watford about going back, more as like a second, third choice striker, help the young players, etc., etc. But they kind of lost their way culturally when I'd left. So yeah, we'd had that discussion, and then basically it just started getting to a point when it was like, we'll do it next week, we'll do it next week. And I'm a big boy, I can read the room. Like I was like, no
Mm.
problem. I see how this is going. I'd used to phoning me frustrated that it wasn't getting done, and obviously they didn't want to do it. So it's like, again, could all be big boys. Just tell me, don't leave it. And that's
Mm.
ultimately where it got to. And Blues went on their way, I went on my way, and it's no hard feelings. You sit around and you look at what's happening at Blues now, and you think, wow, I wish I was in there in League
Yeah.
One. I wish I'd have joined then
Yeah.
because I think not only with Chris, we'd have had so much more fun from a what we was able to do in a standard setting point of view. I think we'd have done a lot more.
Troy, does it blow your mind now? You've made reference to the club that you watched as a
Mm.
young boy, and then the club that you played for. Does it blow your mind now? I'm not just asking you about the fact there's ice in the machine and the towels are all there. Talking about a 62,000 seater in a stadium in a whole
Yeah,
area of Birmingham and a sports quarter. We're talking about an urban project here with your football team's name attached to it. How do you feel
it,
about
it It doesn't blow my mind. It's because it's the nature of football. What it does do, and probably for a lot of your listeners, and probably yourself as well, I'm glad that somebody recognises Birmingham for what it is.
Yeah,
Because
totally.
I love Birmingham, and as you do, like we're from Birmingham. It's great now to even with the other side, even with Villa, like they've got billionaire owners similar to us. They're creating something. They're all investing into the city, and it makes us not be that like second citizen essentially in UK. Like I always feel that, especially in our world that we do about media, it's London and Manchester, isn't it? Like we just get
Yeah.
bypassed. And it's like, no, like we're from Birmingham. Wherever I go, I talk about Birmingham. You hear my accent. You know what I'm from. You know what I represent. And I'm glad now with the new ownership, it's a little bit like Everton. We're going to have a new stadium that everyone can be proud of and everyone can turn around and go, that's ours. And yes, it won't be the same as St Andrews. It won't feel the same, and we won't have all the history. But we can create that history, and we can
Mhm.
create it together. And I love that about the ownership. I don't think they've come in and scrapped all of the old. They've actually embraced the old. They've embraced
Mhm.
the Garrison pub. They've embraced JK. They've embraced Keith and Batchelor and the boys. You know what I mean? They've embraced everything that everybody. So yeah, I love it, mate. I really, really love it, and I'm championing it that they go on and not only win but like dominate as well.
Do
But
you?
with
So go
that
on.
now, the beauty. Oh, sorry,
No, go
please.
on.
I would say, but the beauty of it now is we only talk about the players now. That's the beauty of it. That's what
Yeah.
football should be about. You should be talking about the players and the manager. Like, is this the right manager moving forward? Are these players good enough, or these players are exceptional? However, the conversation is, we're not talking now about is that side of the stadium condemned? Are we going to have the right seats? Is the heating going to be on? Is there going to be enough hot water for everybody after a game? Stuff like that is like now you're looking at it, and let me just clarify. I think the manager is mustard, and I think he's a top bloke. And I think just to move it forward a little bit to where we are now, I can see from the outside looking in why the struggles are happening. Because last year in League One, we were the best team by a country mile. So
Yeah.
what happens with that is complacency kicks in, and you can play at 60, 70%, and you're still better than whoever it might be you play. I don't know. Probably a bad name, but the only name's coming to mind. But for like Peterborough, when we beat
Yeah.
them in the league, we never have great games, but we could beat them not playing great. Does that make sense?
It does.
Now you come into
You
the
can win a match
championship.
with a moment,
Yeah.
can't you? Basically, in League One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you come to the championship. No one's scared of you. No one's sitting around going to give you credit. Everyone's just as quick. And I think the lads have just had to have that little bit of a lull where you mentally re-gauge. You go, okay, this is what it's supposed to be. And they got to kick on again. And the manager drives standards, and I know that factually. He drives everyone to be, better than they should be. Even when they win, he wants more. And only, that's the level, not only to be at this level, but that's to go again in the Prem. And
Mm.
that's why I think personally Chris is perfect for it. Like again, I only know him a little bit. He's not a friend of mine or anything like that. I just think he's the modern day coach now, but with the mentality of old school of keep going, keep driving, and keep winning, and to just be relentless with it. I see a lot of Arteta in him, a lot of Arteta in what he does. So for me, I think he's the one now, and the teams and the players have got to be got to step
Why,
up to the standard.
why do you make the comparison with Arteta?
Relentless. Just the way you train is the way you play. Keep going. This is the philosophy. And we're just going to be, that we're going to respect the opposition, but we are going to be that much better than you that you're going to have to deal with it. And we're going to keep doing it our way. We're going to find ways to win. That's how I see it.
Troy, there are times, you don't know if you've been aware, where the style of football, the slower possession build-up approach, that's been a tough sell at St Andrews sometimes, and with the travelling support sometimes. Is it just a generation of Blues fans that love their blood and thunder, or does some styles not fit with some clubs?
No, it's football in general, right? We always, as long as we're winning, because it was slow and methodical last year. By the way, I didn't hear
Yeah, it
one
was. It
fan
was. Yeah.
complain. Yeah, not one fan complained. It's because we're in the championship now, and we're going through that spell where we're not running away with the league like we expected. Because remember last year when we won everything, it was so easy, wasn't it? It was slow, methodical. It was called dominating football at that point, suffocating football. Now when you're not winning, it's slow and methodical. But
Right.
I actually look at it. I look at it from a player's point of view, or from a coaching point of view to the players. He wants them to do certain patterns. He can't actually go on the pitch and make them move the ball from left to right quicker than they are. He can't make them take 2 touches. He can't make them run into the space he wants them to. And I'm sure, Chris, if you asked him, again, I haven't spoken to him since the start of the season, but I'm sure he would want more creativity, more flair in the wide areas, more end product. But all he can do is give them the platform to do it. And this is where I think football's changed a little bit. I'm going to sound like that old guy. In my day, players used to think about it on the pitch and problem solve.
Yeah.
Like the manager would give you a framework and give you something to do. But now, when you watch it, and I watched 97 games last season live in the flesh, you see it. So many people come out at the start of the game, they get to half time, and the manager clearly says something, and then they wait till the end. It's like three moments to change what's happening. No one thinks on the pitch now as a player, right, how do I do something off the cuff? If, I'm making a hypothetical, if Jay Stansfield got the ball off a midfielder, turned, went past 2 people and shot and put it over, do you think Chris Davies is going to turn around and go, don't you ever do that again?
No, of course not. No.
But everyone now, because we've done these things, it's like, the manager said do that, so the accountability lies on the manager now as opposed to the player. Like, I'm doing what you said, so if we win, it's great, but when we lose, it's your fault. And that's just where modern football's going, unfortunately.
So the inspiration or the sort of inventions being coached out a little bit?
Yeah, possibly, but also like having a set of nuts on you as well. I'm just going, I'm going to do this because that's why I got there. You know, that's why these players are playing where they played or where they played in the past. You didn't play there because you followed the manager's instructions to the letter. You can take instruction on, you can play within a framework, but then you can go and think for yourself and make something happen. For me, the forward areas has always been a case of you're gonna miss more shots than you score. Factually correct. Even Haaland does that. As forward, like wingers or like attacking tens, if you want to call them that. Like you're gonna have 10 passes where you try and score, like put someone through to score. 7 of those are going to get intercepted. 2 are going to be overhit, but 1's going to be right, and we win the game. But now everyone's worried about pass percentage.
What have you made of Jay's evolution and where he is at the moment, and the potential that he has with Birmingham City and even going forward?
He can be the player that drives you to the Premier League. He can be the reason you stay in the Premier League. And it could be 18 months from now, you're fighting off a lot of high bids just because of the talent. The kid is frightening. He's one of the only players I see with that, I don't care.
Yeah.
Give me the ball. I'm the man. It's not an arrogance. It's a self-assured, watch what I do. Really well-spoken kid. I think the demand has to come from the rest of the players now on him. When you're the man, and I've been fortunate enough in my career to be that, when you are the man, you have people will give you a grace because he'll be the one who scores and we'll get over it. But when he's having an off game or when he's not at it, he doesn't score, the demand has to be for the other players to be like, right, yeah, but you're going to work for the team. You're going to do all the other crappy stuff, right? That has to come from within, and that has to come from the players. And I'm not saying at the moment he doesn't do that. He obviously works ridiculously hard, but he's got to develop now a leadership model, whichever way it is for him, to grab this team by the scruff of the neck and go, we're going that way. We're going that way because it benefits him. Because if you really think about it, he should be targeted 2 years from now being in the Euro squad for England.
Right. What is it that makes him such a good player, Troy? What do you see? Because he's not the fastest, he's not the biggest, he's not. He scores some, he misses some. What sets him apart? Because you made some fairly big.
He's his game, first and foremost.
Yeah.
He learns year on year. You see his game getting better. He's willing to learn. He's quicker than you think he is, but he's also, his finishing ability is very good. And you're talking about a generation now where number 9s are in demand. Like, you see the big boy from Man United, Sheshko. He's 70 odd million quid now, like that, and he looks like a baby giraffe at times. So when you think about how this is all going now, I just think he epitomizes what Birmingham City is as well. Yeah. Obviously, we know the backstory with his old man and the things of that nature, but he now needs to grab this team and go, right, I'm going that way. If I knew him or if I had any inkling with him, I'd be saying, are you seeing the landscape of the national team currently? Harry Kane, will he make the next Euros? We're not sure. Ollie Watkins, we're not sure. Really, you're in a battle now with the lap. Really is what I'd be saying to him. So you need to get yourself into the Prem as quickly as possible this year. Drag this team forward. Next year, hit the ground running. If you can get 10 to 12 goals, there's a real conversation there. And you've come through the systems. We've seen you with England. They know you. You're more likely to get picked. So for me, it's his mentality that sets him apart, because he wants it more than most, and he's not prepared. You see, when you lose a game, watch him, mate. Watch his reaction, not what he's doing to the fans. Watch him straight after the game. His immediate reaction. He's fuming. He loves to win, and that is a skill in itself.
I think back to Blackburn away earlier this season. Blues conceded a poor goal away to Todd Cantwell, and it was Jay Stansfield that put the team on his back and picked the ball up, went a little bit wider, found himself some space and carried the ball. So I think that's what that personality that you're talking about. Troy, yeah. I'll let you go. Thank you very much for your time. I can't wait for the embargo news.
Anytime, mate.
I'm an absolute tenterhooks now. And it's
thanks, mate. It's strictly come down to America is what it is, actually.
I don't even know if you're joking now. Thanks for everybody for listening. Thanks everybody for listening. Thank you, Troy, for your time, and it's a big keep right on from both of us.